Everybody, it's Friday, and that means it's time for news. Let me just make sure we are good. Okay, guys, hi. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if you guys remember last Friday. I don't. I don't remember last Friday. My face was bad. Everything was bad. Everything was so bad. So last Friday, I had a sinus infection, and then I was like, you know what? I'll power through. It's no big deal. Life goes on. It's happened before. Hi, Crystalline. How are you? I was like, it has happened before. I'll power through. Well, on Saturday morning, I woke up to some of the most excruciating pain I've ever felt my entire life. And I was like, I have to go to see medical personnel. I need medical assistance. I had a bad infection, and then it spread, and then my whole face blew up like a bowling ball. Well, just the right side. I was gonna say the whole face. So it was probably like, I took pictures. You will not see pictures. And the humans that have photos of my face, if they share them, I am coming for you. So my face was a mess, and I cried. I cried so much. I've never felt pain like that before in my entire life. I was sobbing. I put a mask on because I wasn't like contagious, but I wanted people not to see my face while I'm in like a Target at the CVS, like trying to get my prescriptions. Tears. I couldn't control them. I experienced pain I've never felt before in my entire life, and I really hope I never have to feel that again. It was insane. It was absolutely the worst thing I've ever been through. So that's why I wasn't active on my other channel this whole past week. I was also working for Valentine's Day. A lot of you know that I work in specialty gifts. So those types of holidays are super busy for me. And yes, I was in excruciating pain on Saturday, crying, sobbing in a Target, waiting for the pain pill that I was getting. And then on Sunday, I started my 6-day stretch, which ended a couple hours ago. So yeah, so we are alive. We are much better. Thank you, Crystalline. I am feeling so much better. Um, so what I thought was a little thing took a nasty, nasty turn, and I did the best that I could, but working a 60-hour week, being so exhausted just from the pain in my face. I could barely talk. I mean, I don't even remember Friday shows, so I hope it wasn't that crazy. But yeah, so I am good. I'll be back active on my lottery channel this weekend with some really cool updates. So in my insomnia, pain, 2 in the morning existings, I did some finagling on the internet. So we're gonna add a little something special to kind of help everyone gather in another space, which I think some people will like, some people may not like, but I'm really interested and I'm really going for it. But today on Lily's News, again, hi, my name is Lily. This is Lily's News on Insane Games TV. We have 3 things that I need to talk about. We might get to more, but I have to talk about these things. And I think I'm just going to start with the biggest one because it's just on my brain. I have to talk about it. So this really hits me personally in a space, and so I might get angry, like legitimately angry. Rachel Dolezal made her appearance to the world in 2015 when she claimed after claim hate crime against her. And then it turned out that she was a white woman cosplaying, pretending, acting, blackfacing to be a black woman. So let's dig into the past Rachel, the 2015 Rachel, and the now Rachel, and all of my thoughts and opinions on that, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions as well. So Rachel Dolezal, she is a grown woman. She was a grown woman when all this happened. She will stay a grown woman until she is no longer living, like all of us. Okay, so she in 2014 became the NAACP NAACP chapter president in Spokane, Washington. And this is after many years of college. I'm going to need a glass of wine for this one. Same. This was after many years of college, and through those years of education, she was really solidifying her shift from being an actual white person to the black woman, curly hair, lots of bounce, a little extra frizz for the good luck of it all woman that she is still portraying today. She has spread many stories on her youth of growing up as a black woman, even though she is white. And a lot of people are kind of misspeaking on the internet, like, well, when she was white. No, no, she is, and she always will be. And I don't mean that in a nice way. Hi, Demi. Hi, how are you? I don't mean that in a nice way. I mean that in the real way, in the realest way possible. She has many accolades from her education and her time teaching before she was NAACP, blah, blah, blah. She has many humans praising her for her fantastic work and standing her ground after hate crime, after hate crime, after hate crime, hanging, she's finding nooses, she's having swastika stickers put on her property, she's having conversations about identifying and forwarding the value of black women through culture and creativity, and she's having these conversations in her delusional mindset of being a black woman. And I want to make it clear that I don't have the ability to speak on the black woman life. I don't have that. I do have the ability to speak on a biracial, I am mixed, half of me is a black human being. I have the ability to speak on that. I don't have the ability to speak on a darker skinned mixed person's experience. I have the ability to speak on my experience. And to take that from me, to attempt to take that from me, from my sister, from my sisters, is absolutely disgraceful and does nothing, absolutely nothing to forward conversation, to ignite the truth in America, in the world. So in 2015, Rachel was making claims to police that there were these hate crimes happening to her, and she made it up to the news. She didn't want to just tell police officers, right? She didn't just want law enforcement involved. She wanted the news involved. She wanted to make sure that it wasn't just noted, it was known throughout her community that these things are happening to her group of humans in a majority white community, neighborhood, city, that the black people are being assaulted, insulted, and attacked. And taking that to the news opens up, just like if you're in a lawsuit, opens up discovery. The news reporters aren't only going to take your word for it. They're going to do a little bit of digging. They're going to do a little bit of journalism. Crystalline says she was the gas on the reel, and she believed everything that she was saying. Yep, she would say everybody else was a liar, and I think she needs help. I wholly agree that she needs help. I wholly agree. So when she was making all of these claims and her high status at the NAACP chapter that she was president of course all the eyeballs were turning to her. There was light being shined on this problem, which I cannot take for granted. I'm sure there were problems. There are always problems, and I don't honestly see a future where there won't be problems. I can see a future where there's less problems. I can see a future where there's not as extreme problems, but I cannot see a future where there's no problems. And that's just because of all of the deciding factors that, involve money and credit and all the things. So I can't take that for granted, that she was shining a light on what probably actually was a problem. But to do it in a way where she's claiming that she is the victim, while in fact she is not, takes away from the actions that come from saying this bad thing happened. We have the conversation of when it happens every now and then when a woman claims that she was assaulted and she wasn't. We have that continued conversation of you're not helping the women who were assaulted, they're claiming they're assaulted, and are looking for justice. They already have a problem. Step one, being comfortable enough to claim that something happened, to be believed when they claim that something happened. And when you have account after account after account of lies, the believability of a woman, in not in our eyes, but in, the grand scheme of things, goes down. We want a world where women are believed, and the women that are being believed are also telling the truth. So you can't claim the bad is happening to you when you are in turn pretending to be the thing that the bad is happening to. You can't do it. You can't do it. Okay. So because she was in the news and journalism is a thing, investigative journalism was happening at a high rate of speed. You know, we had Obama, you know, things were happening, you know, in the world of blackness. We were making these fantastic strides. It felt like there was like a weight lifted off. Like, does anyone agree? Like, Obama became president, it was like, whoa, we can breathe just like a little bit deeper, like our lungs worked a little bit better, you know. So there was all these eyeballs or all these conversations being had, and she wanted a piece of that. And so they did some digging, and of course they're gonna call mom and dad, white mom, white dad. You know, and they said, hi, yeah, no, we're Rachel's parents. She's not black. We are also not black. We've adopted black kids and given them a home in a town, in a space, in a community that wasn't opening their arms to them. We were giving them a home and loving them and treating them as our blood children. They were our children. We took them in and we loved them, and they're our babies. And we were doing that, and we embraced any aspect of culture that they wanted to embrace, that they wanted in their lives. We did that because we didn't just have to, we wanted to. It's good for them, it's good for us, it spread throughout the community. They were a shining light. I never read or saw anything bad or negative about her parents. They were open and accepting and loving and caring, and they were good people. People who open their home to children and say, welcome, you're my baby now, taking care of you because I love you, is fantastic. That's wonderful, that's beautiful. Top notch, top tier humans. And so when that came out, Rachel was like, uh-oh, I have to combat. And so she came up with the story of, the feeling inside me relates more to the black woman experience. I am embodying my emotions, right? And every time she was asked, hey, what, the question that I hate the most in my entire life, and I get almost every single day, what are you? What are you? Because when I'm asked, what are you, I don't know. I grew up with that question constantly being asked. And I have to, if I want to actually share what I am, I have to find the right words that the human that I'm talking to will accept and understand, right? For some reason. But when she's asked, what are you? She's not looking for the words for the journalist to understand. She's looking for the words that will make her understand or believe that she is black. And then the whole transracial thing happened. And that in itself is a really scary thing to try to unpack. And I don't want anyone to get confused with the trans identity and the LGBTQIA community. Right, Crystalline? That question, what are you, is so, it's invasive. But I still, in my old ass age, I still don't have a solidified go-to response. I've been asked, oh, are you Hispanic? Are you Inuit? Are you Native? Are you this? Are you that? Sure. Whatever floats your boat. I guess. I don't know. Is a different answer going to change your opinion on me? So, yes. And that was actually one of, I don't want to compare you and Rachel at all, Crystalline. That was one of her responses when she was on a big news outlet, interview. She's they asked, What race are you? And she's like, oh, that's a very strange question. I Not many people get asked, if they're the human race. And she was like, okay, hold on. Totally different setting, of course. Totally different setting for that question, where it was expected of her to ask that question. What is your race? Because to say that you are black when you are not black, and to accept the curly hair with all the volume, the tan skin, and the claimed experiences that you have never and will never actually experience without living inside of a costume is ridiculous. You're deciding to be something with the ability to take the good and just push all the bad to the side and just grab the little ones, the little bad things, that you want, and use them in your favor. Because a real person who goes through life experiencing the black experience doesn't have a choice in the bad that they have to come across, the bad bridges they have to cross. The bad being thrown at them on a daily basis. The ingrained fear. Because they've seen it, they've experienced it. You don't get to pick and choose what negatives you get to experience while experiencing all the good and all the kind. She is absolutely ridiculous. Crystalline, I wholly agree that I do not think she loves herself at all. Because if you can't love yourself in your own skin, mine is very pale for a mixed woman. I know. I also don't go in the sun a lot. I make that a very strong point in my life, to be very protected from the sun. You will not see me on a beach, on a towel, being sunned. I don't do that. That's just a choice that I've made throughout my life. And I'm able to recognize that I've had the privilege of being as light as I am. And I have full recognition of that, which is why I acknowledge that I cannot even speak on the biracial, the mixed, the half black, half white experience for I would say probably the majority of humans, because of how light I am. Me and my sister, if you put us side by side, you'd be like, okay, same person, same face, same thing. You guys, you're the same. You're the same. Make us laugh. We have the same wrinkles. We have the same eyes. We have the same mouth. We're exactly the same. If we put us side by side, the only real difference you might notice is the hair type slightly different and the skin tone slightly different. She has lived a completely different experience than I have, and I am able, and I would never be able to sit down and say this is the black experience, because who the hell am I to say that? So who the hell is Rachel? Who the hell is Rachel? All right, so Rachel Dolezal. So why is she back in the news, other than still being herself? Well, she's not. She has changed her name to Nkechi Diallo. Just for the full effect of it, just to really hammer it home that she is black, right? Because she didn't, after the 2015 controversy, decide to, not tan anymore, decide to not perm her hair anymore, decide to not, what do they, when you down comb the hair, what is that? You guys will know. She hasn't decided to not do that anymore. She is still the Rachel Dolezal that we met on the news claiming to be a black person. But she hasn't spoken to her parents since all of this happened. And so she hit the news because it came out that she was fired from her teaching job. She's kind of taken a dip in the job pool from thank you, Black Queen 777. This hits in this whole situation. When I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna lose my ever loving shit. I'm gonna lose it. And so before we get to where she is now, I have watched a lot of people making and having these like sort of quick conversations and like short form videos about Rachel Dolezal. Nkechi Diallo. Stop. I will not be calling her that. She hasn't garnered enough respect for me to call her by her fake name, in her fake skin. I've seen a lot of people making short form content, TikToks, Instagrams, whatever, on what is happening now and having the conversations of remembering what happened then. And I've heard white voices, I've heard black voices, and I think the meatiness of this conversation isn't just she's faking to be black, is that she's trying to tell a black story while being white. And that is so extremely inappropriate. Black people are in a constant battle to be able to tell their own story, especially when it comes to black women. Their stories have been told over and over and over again from everyone else's voice, from everyone else's vision. And for just another one to try to do that and to fake the pain along the way, disgraceful. I'm like shaking. It's like, it is wild. I have my own experience with something very interesting. So when I was in college, I had a white professor. Sorry if you see this, but homeboy, I got problems with you. I had a white professor who was full of white guilt, to the brim, overflowing with white guilt, that he poured every breath he took into black stories being told on stage. And he taught a black playwrights course in college, and I of course took it. I was like, sign me up. I was the first one on the list. Did I take it twice? Did I take the second one too? Probably. And I took it knowing that the professor was a middle-aged white man. I took it because there were no other professors able to teach it in any other way, because there were no other colored professors. Mind you, I went to college in very up north. I didn't want to be there, so I didn't expect too many black professors wanting to be there either. But I took it. And every day in that class, it was just how guilty he felt. The years, the energy that him knowing what his past humans, his past bloodline has done. It didn't work. It didn't work. I mean, I learned, of course, we read, we talked. I had black co-students, which was ideal because I needed someone to, like look over and roll eyes with. But it was so frustrating knowing where the energy for the education was coming from. When you're reading stories from black people about black people, putting black people in the limelight, sharing the history, the past, the knowledge, the energy, the kindness, the love, the passion being read by a white man. Not saying that's a bad thing or it's wrong. It can be good, but it was very, the way it was done was very off-putting. So I had to take everything with a grain of salt. I had to find the truth on my own, but memorize what needed to be learned to solidify his idea of knowing Black artistry on stage. It was very frustrating. But that, I think that in itself was even more educational than if I were to have like a Black playwright who has, works under their belt, telling me all of these stories, helping me break them down and find all these character works within these historical Black plays, and everything was just cohesive. I feel like, yes, that would have been empowering and fantastic and wonderful, but I feel like I got a bigger, more grandiose experience by someone wwho existed. I don't even want to say similar to Rachel Dolezal, but in the same realm of Rachel Dolezal. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right, we gotta wrap this crazy woman up. Okay, so she's in the news because she was fired from her teaching job. She was an after-school teacher, and her OnlyFans came out. Her OnlyFans, and it went against code of conduct for the school and their educators to participate in an OnlyFans in the manner that she was. So yeah, she got fired. Her parents, her father talked to, was it NBC News, I believe, and said they haven't spoken for like 8 years. So since the whole 2015 thing happened, and he's saddened by what's going on. He clearly doesn't feel that what she was doing online fit what she is quite capable of, which I believe she could be a fantastic educator. I don't think, I want to make this very clear, I don't think she was in any way like hurting kids. I'm sure that her OnlyFans and her job teaching kids was completely separate, and I can understand that it being against the conduct of the employees of that school to have OnlyFans, and their decision was to let her go. Do I think having an OnlyFans is bad? Absolutely not. Do you make that money? Enjoy your life. The content that she was creating on OnlyFans, I heard a rumor. I did not do digging on it. I'm not going to dig in on that. I heard that it was racially based, which I think was probably the biggest factor when it came to her OnlyFans and the school. And that's what got people kind of chit-chatting recently about, who are we talking about? Oh, I just kind of talked about my own experience with a professor in college who has like a similar mindset to Rachel Dolezal, just to kind of tie my own experiences into it. But back to Rachel. So she has that OnlyFans. She is now fired. Her Instagram, which is Nkechi Diallo, I did scroll through I will give it to her. She is a fantastic artist. She has real beautiful, beautiful skill when it comes to a paintbrush and canvas. Do I think that her choosing majority sort of like Black images to paint is, I think it's just kind of fueling her behavior of believing that she understands the Black experience. Anywho, any thoughts on Rachel before we move on? Because we got to move on. I've been talking about her for like a half an hour. I could talk about her for like 2 hours. She has not made strides for the Black community, and that's my statement. She has not made strides for the Black community. She may be surrounded by humans of all colors. She may be surrounded by people who believe that she has, but in my opinion, and this is coming from someone who's never met her and only read and seen and watched videos where she's kind of bumbling through being asked questions on the Black experience, constantly looking in her brain for the best answer. She has not made strides for Black women. She just looks delusional, and I do hope she gets some help. I don't know if she ever will, because I think she is surrounded by people who are okay with it. I don't know how. I would never be. I would never be. Do you guys have any thoughts on Rachel? I would never be. Ever, ever, ever. Okay. So, did you guys see this video? This is crazy. So you're probably like, why is there a squirrel in the thumbnail? Because a squirrel almost cost a man's life. I'm not going to say a squirrel. I'm going to say an acorn almost cost a man's life. Cops. I went on Twitter and I saw this video. I saw a few people talking about it, and I wanted to get just like the main clip. And so I want to show you guys, just in case you haven't seen this video. This is a video, a little backstory. So a woman calls the police because her boyfriend stole her car. Young couple, I'd say, if not late teens, really early 20s. They look very young to me. So she calls the cops and she's like, hey, look, he stole my car, and you know, I'm annoyed. He stole my car. This is dumb. You can't just steal my car. So the cops go looking for the car. They find the car after the guy was like, oh yeah, no, it's at her mom's house. It wasn't. He put it somewhere else. He shows up to the girlfriend, the little scene that's happening. He gets arrested. He gets patted down. He's got nothing on him. He gets put in the cop car. At this point, it is known that he does own weapons of the pew pew variety, and he's been patted down, so he doesn't seem to have anything on him at the moment. So he's in the cop car. The two cops kind of come back, do a little more chit-chatting. The male cop, there's a female and a male. The male cop goes back to his car to kind of do a little double check, maybe ask some more questions. And this is the scene that happens as he's walking back to the car. And I'm just going to say, I don't want to like ruin it for you. No one is injured. No one gets hit by anything. Okay? So just be forewarned. You will hear and see the body cam footage, but no one is injured at all. Anyone. Where's my phone? Oh no. Shots fired. Hold on. Oh no. Okay, sorry guys, my computer like froze or something. Okay. Well, I know you're... Sorry, just give me a second. I think... What is happening? Oh no. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Alright, let me just try this Okay. Maybe? Maybe? Okay. Yep. Okay. It's coming. Sorry. um, this is happening. Okay. Let's try this. Let's try it now. Okay, so he is walking back to the car. Wait, are you hearing audio coming from my computer?
No, that's just coming from.
No, are you hearing?
Shots fired!
Like, are they?
Yeah, it's coming through.
I'm not hearing anything.
I'm hit! What? Ambulance! I in the car! I ain't shot!
So you can't hear anything? Or?
No!
Okay, can you mute the microphone? No, your mic on the headset, sorry.
Oh. I don't know. That one?
Yep, that's the red light.
Oh.
I'm good. I feel weird, but I'm good.
I got it now.
Is that doing anything?
Mm-hmm. That's good. Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. My computer keeps freezing. Okay. So what you guys just saw was a police officer. My computer keeps freezing and I can't go back to it. You saw the police officer go back to the car and then just kind of jolting and saying shots fired, shots fired. But what happened was as he was approaching like the back passenger door, he heard a noise. And the noise was actually an acorn falling from the tree above, and hitting the car, and he thought that was shots being fired at him, and then decided to unload his weapon into the car, announcing to his partner that he has been hit while rolling around in the gravel. And then his partner then also unloading her weapon into the car from many, many feet away. The human being, sorry, my computer being so annoying right now. The human being handcuffed in the back of the seat didn't get injured at all. No bullets, nothing. He walked out totally fine once they got some more cops on scene and realized that nothing was actually being shot at them. So I just wanted to share that, reminding people that if you want to be a police officer, you probably shouldn't be startled by an acorn. I mean, I can't believe how absolutely ridiculous the response to an acorn. An acorn hitting a car roof could never, should never trigger that response. A grown man almost lost his life because an acorn from a tree above the car, or possibly a squirrel, dropped and hit the car. What do you mean? What do you mean? How is that at all? And then to claim that he was hit, he believed for those moments, just like Rachel Dolezal, he believed that he was hit and injured. From where there was no glass shattering as the bullet supposedly that came from the cop car. There was nothing until they shot their entire weapon at it. The man has said that he feels like he will forever be changed by this experience of having two police officers try to kill him. That's like, I feel like that's attempted murder. The cop who said his legs feel funny, but he thinks he's fine, was just ready to go. Now I don't know if this has any kind of racial motivation, because the young man was a black man in the back of the car. Was that what kind of put him over the edge? He was that frightened? If so, not a good career choice. But he did resign, even though there was no punishment for him and his partner. No punishment whatsoever for unloading your entire weapon into a car because an acorn fell on it. Nothing. Not a slap on the wrist. Nothing. Nothing at all. Just, all right, see you on Monday. Just, all right, see you on Monday. My wallet would be stacked. My wallet would be stacked. Okay. So that was that. I just wanted to share that and make sure you guys knew about that. Because if I have to know, so do you. Okay, so let's try this. Maybe I'll leave that up if this takes, this doesn't take so long. Maybe we'll play a little Rachel Dolezal clip from like 2014 before she got ousted as actually being a white woman. Have you guys seen the picture of like Rachel Dolezal before she turned black? Wait, I just need to show you guys. Cause I feel like you probably have, but just to kind of, just for the sake of memory. Just for the sake of memory. This is what Rachel Dolezal looks like. That's her face. That's her skin. I'm not saying there's anything bad about being white, but that's what you are. You cannot change that. He needs to go back for basic training. Yeah, he shouldn't have been allowed to be in that position at all. This is Rachel. This isn't. We just needed to make sure we were all. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, I enjoy the H3 podcast. I don't know if you guys are familiar. H3 podcast been around for a while, and they are now do like their version of like The Bachelor. And so their Bachelor for this round of happenings online is Jeff Wittek. Talked about him a little bit. He was the man who was swung around at an excavator. It was immediately stopped. David Dobrik was swinging it, and he, how things swinging on a pole, when flying back, hit the pole, almost died, had very traumatic injuries to his face, eyeball, and brain. And so he is now in the healing process, and he is suing David Dobrik. He's looking for love, right? He is ready to settle down. I believe he's in his 30s. And so there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of submissions to be and date Jeff Wittick from this H3 podcast, Bachelor, that they're doing. He wants kids, which is fine. You can want kids or not want kids, whatever. And so the crew for the H3 podcast narrowed down, I think Sam in particular, narrowed down to, I think, 20 different submissions for him to kind of choose from to go to the next stage. You know, Bachelor, you're dating 20 women, it goes down to 17, et cetera, et cetera. We've all seen The Bachelor. And there was one girl in particular that his response made me mad. Made me like upset. Now, this sort of thing is already just not my vibe when it comes to like real human beings. I don't know. That's really weird to say. You know what you're signing up for. You're being judged on your looks, on your makeup, on your hair, you know, how skinny you are, how many followers you have, all that stuff. Like, you're being judged on that, and you're signing up to do that. That's fine. If you want to do that, do you. I don't care. I'm not a big fan of that, but, you know, sometimes I'll watch The Bachelor. You know, sometimes I'll get pulled into a season or two here and there, you know, and then I try to talk about it and people are like, oh my God, I hate it. And then there's a couple people that, you know, want to talk about it. No big deal. But the response to one girl in particular and her statements on having kids kind of was off-putting. But I don't want it to be like, Jeff Wittick is making me mad and this is terrible and I hate him and his opinions are awful. I don't know if it's a bit or not. That's my problem. Because Jeff Wittick is very dry. He's very dry. He's very, very level toned. He's very monotone. There's not much movement where like you can't tell if it's a bit all the time. And I'm hoping that it's a bit, but I want you guys to see and maybe help me figure it out, okay? So let's see. Okay, so this is a girl. I don't know her name, but that's okay. So this is a girl, and she's answering Jeff's questions about if does she want kids. Oh, you want to see it? Okay. Nope, I'm gonna need sound. Honey buns. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. I need a new computer. Where are you? Where's the sound? Oh no. Oh no. Why is this happening to me? Okay. Oh. Okay, never mind. So, I will just say what he says, if I can find it. Okay, 241. Let me pull it up on my phone. H3. I'm just having a hard time with this setup. 241:36. Okay.
The way she was talking about kids was a little weird. You know,
it sounds like she doesn't want kids.
sounds like she doesn't want kids.
She's not going to say no, but it sounds like she's not into it.
Kids love Hitler. She's closing the door on it. Like, why?
Ignore the sound bites. That's the thing that they do.
Why not? You know?
Well,
Or you just want to be out partying?
I don't get that sense from her, but I think, listen, she's...
Okay, so to have the opinion that if you don't want kids, you just want to party. That's really harsh immediately. Now Ethan comes in with trying to, I can't believe my computer doesn't work right now. I don't have a volume button. Like I can't turn my volume back. Oh my God. Oh, okay. So, to have that opinion threw me off. Like as I was listening to it, it stopped me in my tracks, right? And so I had to continue listening, didn't hear. Ethan has a little more level-minded, 2 kids. He has 3 kids, and he makes it very clear that, you know, if he could, he would carry the child, you know, he would take that pain, the tiredness, the achiness, the sore feet away from his wife. Like he would do that, and he would like love every, you know, like he has that mindset, which I appreciate. That's fantastic. You know, love that vibe.
Got to deal with the whole body. What happens to the body? That's scary.
Yeah, is she scared of the pain of giving birth?
So Jeff says that she's scared of the pain of giving birth, which maybe, is that bad? Is that wrong to not look forward to the potential like hours upon hours of labor and giving birth to a child? Like it can be very painful. It can be a really traumatizing experience for a lot of women. You could end up with a terrible doctor or terrible nurses, or miss the window for, you know, some spine injecting pain medicine. You know, what if you're in labor for, you know, 18 hours and you have to decide to have a C-section, and you're not just in physical pain, but your heart hurts from the potential of, you know, anything can happen during childbirth.
She said she'd adopt kids.
Oh yeah, maybe
What if you want to have
do?
Isn't it the best thing ever? Like you have kids. Isn't it the best thing you've ever done in your life?
it is the best thing ever. However, for whatever reason, based on people's upbringing, their parent relationship with their parents, maybe some people like have some rare genetic thing that they don't want to pass on. There's all kinds of different reasons that someone might not want kids, you know.
Okay, fair.
But I don't know anything about her. I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah.
maybe she just had a really fraught relationship with her parents, and she doesn't want to be a parent, you know.
Well, would that make you want to do the opposite and be, you know, what they like take from what they did wrong, and,
Yeah.
and you know, now right their wrongs? I don't know. Look, let's finish the video.
But are you feeling it with the kept to the kids thing?
She's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely, she's in the yellow right now.
Okay, that's good.
Because communication is key.
Crystal and I agree that if you you know, if you're in the market for having kids, and that's absolutely, I don't see anything wrong with people having kids. I personally don't want children, and I am making sure that that's not a part of my life, only because I don't like them. I also don't like when like I also don't like having like 2 men have the conversation in front of like potentially a million people about why a young girl or woman wouldn't want kids. That seems a little weird to me. It was just a little off-putting. Now, when it comes to Jeff's response, well, what else are you doing? That threw me off. And I don't know if that came from like him attempting to make a joke, or really truly not understanding, well, what else are you doing if you're not having kids in your late 20s? Which is a question I would ask you, Jeff, now that you're not in your late 20s, and I believe you're in your 30s. What else are you doing if you weren't having kids in your late 20s? Living, working, all the other things. It's been a massive conversation about millennials not having kids, and a lot of times people say, oh, well, it's, you know, finances, and, you know, people can't friggin' buy houses and all this stuff, right? But it could also just be that people just don't want kids and are able to find partners and people that they love and who also don't want kids. I don't see why there is such a negative energy behind women not wanting kids. But when it comes to men, it's because they just haven't found the right person to have kids with. Like, you can be 40 years old, not have kids, and be a man, and it be fine. But if you are 30 and you are a woman and you haven't had kids, it's well, why not? Oh, well, but it's so... That's great that some people have fantastic experiences with kids. It's different when it's yours, is like the most common one that I get. Don't say that, because what if it's not? What if it's not? What if I'm like the worst parent? I hate every single minute of it. I have all the resentment ever, and I hate everything, and then I just end up hating myself. It's not what I want, and I don't want, and I also don't appreciate a man referring to women as just sort of some fertile being where it's a necessity to have kids. But this is why I can't tell if it was a joke or not. Was it supposed to be a joke? What women do with their bodies is their choice, 100%. I used to try to pressure my daughter to give me a grandbaby before I'm 50. I'll be next year, but I stopped when she read it or not, doesn't matter. I will still love her. Yes, and like my mom. Okay, so my mother, same vibes. She, grandbabies, and I'm like, okay, but like, I don't want kids. I also grew up in a way where kids weren't like part of the life. Like, I didn't like have younger siblings or younger cousins or babies running around, and like we weren't a village taking care of a family. We were just the four of us living, and like I understand the conversations that say, to your daughter, me pretending to be the daughter, which I am a daughter, like, oh, I want babies. Like, when are you gonna have babies? Or for me, is a big one. When are you gonna get married? I don't even want to get married. And a lot of people say like, oh, you just want to be different. No, I just don't want to walk down. This is what gets me about weddings. This has been a gripe of mine forever. And don't get me wrong, I cry at weddings. Like, I'm a guest at a wedding, tears. Congratulations. You made the decision to share your love in front of all your friends and family and your commitment, and that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I don't want to do it. I also don't want to make out with my man in front of both of our families inside some sort of quite possibly like religious temple of some sorts. I just don't want to be doing that. That's not what I enjoy to do. I don't want to make out with my man in front of all of my family. That just feels weird to me. But I don't need it, I have something where I know that I don't need to do the walk down the aisle thing. If I were to get married, crystalline, it would be in a courthouse or like on the steps of like a really cool like train station. It would be like I don't know, maybe like a swing by like a little lake. But it wouldn't, I don't know. I definitely would not be in a church if that were to happen. I don't see it happening anytime soon. But I mean, if it does, I'll let you guys know. But those types of things just feel not necessary anymore. And so it really pains me to see a man in the realm of like social media that I enjoy. I think he's funny a good chunk of times. I like his vibe. He's chill. I like that he is standing his ground against David Dobrik and the whole vlog squad. That was David Dobrik's friends and everything in the past. I appreciate that and I like that. But what I don't like is him saying, well, what else are you doing if you're not having kids? That feels icky to me. It feels icky. I did not like it. And I hope it was him trying to make a joke. I hope it was him trying to make a joke. Because if not, I think hopefully it got kind of overlooked and everything. And, you know, it was later in the stream, so maybe people kind of missed it. But I personally don't. I did not like that. And, like, I can put up with look at all the boobs are out and the tans and the hairs and all the makeups and all the stuff. Like, I can put up with that. You know, they signed up for it. That's what they're doing. Some are doing some goofs. Some are doing some gaffes. Some are being really serious. And that's great. And it was all fun. We're not just baby machines. Like, we have our own brains and our own abilities to make decisions on what we do and what we birth. And if we don't birth, it's fine. And if we adopt, I think that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, oh, man. But that was it. That's all I had. I'm really mad about my computer. I have to figure out why it keeps crashing. It doesn't crash for me, and I use it every single day for hours at a time. I don't know why it's freezing on me, so I'm going to have to figure that out for next Friday. But is there anything else you guys want to talk about, need to cover? I don't want children, and women are my biggest critics. Isn't that a bitch? Black Queen 777. Isn't that a bitch? Like, why are we... Because I have never once had one of my guy friends say, oh, when are you going to pop out a bit? Like, terrible. But I've had plenty of girlfriends say, when are you going to have your baby? Never. But I'll help you, you know, with yours. Like, I don't want to take, it's the snot. Okay, so here's my thing. It's the snot, right? It's the liquid from the nose and the drool. You want me to talk about Ace Family next week? You bet. That could be like a whole episode. Because I've been following. I didn't know if you guys wanted me to talk about it, because I've been following almost every single move. There's a lot of moves. I didn't really follow that much this week because I was working all day. 24. I did like 2 12 hours, a bunch of 10s. So I was like working like all day. But I will do some catching up this weekend on what I missed this past week, and we can absolutely talk about the Ace Family this Friday. That will be a whole hour. Might even be more. Yeah, the snot. I don't know what it is. It's for adults. It's for humans. You know, when I almost lost my lunch one day. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, this is probably the worst. Remember when I told you that earlier in the stream when I was crying in a Target because the pain in my face was so bad as it was swelling up the size of a bowling ball, and I was wearing a mask because I didn't want people to actually see how terrible my face was, and the tears. And the pharmacists at the CVS were so kind to me. They literally came up to me, like pat me on the back. They gave me tissues. I'm crying, and I'm like, it's not you. Like, I wanted to make sure like they knew that I am not upset at you. I understand that things take time and whatever, but I cannot stop crying. The pain is unbearable. Never felt pain like that inside I felt like knives were being like turned and twisted inside of my brain. But the snot. I almost lost my lunch. I was at the bus stop. Because public transportation is key. Take it if you can. Public transportation is great. I was standing at the bus stop, and it's mid-afternoon, and a guy behind me, I knew someone was there. I didn't know just how like close he was to me. He hocked a loogie, and I heard it hit the ground, and I everything almost exited my body. That's the absolute worst for me. I hate it. I don't think I have any real actual like icks other than that. Don't thinking about it. Okay. Hey Deborah, how are you? We are about to skedaddle. That is soda sauce and crystalline. And I couldn't see him, so all I had was the sound. I hate when people just having the sound from your back. Absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Deborah, we will be scratching this weekend. I will probably fill you guys in on what happened this past weekend on Saturday. Yeah. So anywho, that's that. That's the news. My computer doesn't like to play things for you, so I'll try to figure out something for next week, but I'm going to skedaddle. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, like, tell your friends, you know, all the good stuff. But we did it. We covered the Rachel Dolezal thing. Crazy. Okay, I'm out of here. Be good, be kind, and don't be gross. I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye.